What's going on, y'all? So welcome back to another video here on the channel. So glad to have you. Before I move into the content that this video is about, I do want to give a few house rules. You know how you play in spades? You give your house rules, joker, joker, deuce, ace. So number one, you must like the video and you must subscribe if you want to see more of me. If you don't, you don't have to, but like this video. Number two, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you felt about it. Let me know what you want to see next and just start a conversation with me. Leave a comment down below. It's always appreciated when you like, comment, subscribe. So please make sure to do those things on the channel. Thank you. I'm also going to give a really quick shout out to my press-on nails. If you don't know by now, I do have a custom press-on business where I get your individual sizes and then I create whatever nails you want me to create. So if you want to purchase a custom press-on nail set from me, please send me an email or reach out to me on Instagram and we'll go ahead and get that order started. But what I think I want to start doing here is every video, I want to give myself some promotion and a shout out. I am a very shameless plug. There's no shame in me promoting myself, my brand, my business. So I want to do like a set of the day type of thing. Now, the set of the day might repeat because I really do enjoy the press-on sets that I make and that I have already made. So you might see a set repeat itself a couple times depending on how much I enjoy it and how much time I had that week to create a new. So today's video is going to be journaling tips and how to get started. I have a lot of people, we all know that I advocate for adults keeping journals and just having a reflective place that you can always refer back to. There's so many people that's like, you know what? I bought a journal and I don't use it. Or I bought a journal, I used it like 2 or 3 times and it's just sitting in my closet. So a lot of people have asked me, I know that you really value your journal and it does a lot for you, but how do I get started or how do I remain consistent? So this video is to give you some tips and tricks about how to get started and remain consistent with your journaling. Excuse me, baby. Sorry. Do you want me to just... Okay. Tip number 1 is just start. A lot of people are like, I don't know how to start. I don't know how to start. I don't know how to start. Just do it. Just do it. Your journal is going to be your personal safe place. It's a raw, reflective place for you to always be able to refer back to whenever you need it. So just start. If you don't know a prompt or what you want to write about, start by just documenting what happened throughout that day. Write what you ate, what it made you feel. Write what's on your mind. Write, you know, anything. Just start. Just start. Just start. It doesn't matter what you write about. A lot of people are familiar with Kevin Gates, the celebrity, right? And we know his wife, Drika Gates. I watched a video of hers where she was talking about how every day she just writes for 10 minutes, just writes whatever comes to mind. Just sit down with your pen and paper and just write. I had a teacher in high school. Her name was Miss Ulrich. I will never forget that we had a puke book. She had it on our list of things that we needed, our list of school supplies. We had to come with a composition notebook. When we got there, she was like, every single day you will start the class by writing in your puke book and it'll be 10 minutes. And it's supposed to be like word vomit for us as students. It was supposed to be a space where we could just vent and get that off our chest. I really appreciate her for doing that because she had us journaling and we didn't even realize it. And she also allowed us to begin our class session by decompressing, by getting it off our chest, by venting, even if nobody was listening. And that is a very smart thing for that lady to have done. So Miss Ulrich, if this video ever crosses your presence or graces your presence, thank you for that. But just start. Just sit. It doesn't matter what you're talking about, what you're writing about, the tone of it. It doesn't matter if you're writing happy thoughts or like, I really want to smack this Like, write it. Just start. Just get started. Tip number 2, create a schedule. So like I said, the teacher that I had that encouraged us to journal and vent and, you know, write it all out, that was a schedule. Every single day in the beginning of class, you have 10 minutes to write whatever you need to write. Create a schedule for yourself. Now, me, I don't have a journaling schedule because I do it consistently enough that I don't feel the need to follow a schedule. I get the urge to sit down and write multiple times a week, and so I don't need a schedule. But if you're struggling to get started or you're struggling to maintain consistency with it, a schedule will be super helpful. So tell yourself every Sunday morning, you know, Sunday is the day of rest for a lot of people. So every Sunday, I'm going to make sure that I take 20 minutes to journal. Or every day when I get home from work, I'm going to write down what my coworkers did or said that upset me so that I can get it off my chest, let it go, release it. You know, come up with a schedule. How often are you going to write? How often do you feel like you need to vent? Are you a person that goes through a lot, experiences a lot of traumas, anxieties, and hardship? Or are you a person that has a pretty easygoing life? A person that has a more easygoing life probably would journal a lot less because, you know, like I had my friend Corey, he has said out of his mouth that he has a pretty easygoing life compared to some of the things that he has heard his other friends discuss. So maybe those other friends have a little bit more to write about, you know, but figure out what works for you. Figure out how frequently you think you might need to journal and create a schedule for yourself. That way you can hold yourself accountable to that schedule. Tip 3, while we're talking about holding yourself accountable to a schedule, you can get yourself an accountability buddy. So I'm the type of person, I'm really open and transparent with the people that I entrust to be my friends. If I call you my friend, you know what I'm saying, I'll let you in. Pick a friend. Maybe y'all can do it together, but pick a friend that'll hold you accountable and say, hey, did you write in your journal? If you chose a weekly schedule, I'm going to write my journal once a week. Pick a friend that you know will hold you accountable and ask you, hey, did you write in your journal this week? Or like I said, it's probably easier if you both do it together because then, you know what I'm saying? It's on both of your minds. But get an accountability buddy. A lot of people have accountability buddies for the gym. A lot of people have accountability buddies when they're trying to stop, you know, an addiction or something like that. Like, just have somebody that will check in and say, hey, did you do that? Or, you know, hey, maybe you should. So an accountability buddy is number 3. Tip number 4 is visual stimulation. I have showed it before somewhere. I think it's on this channel. In my self-care video, there's a slight clip of a page out of my journal. Lucky you, I like you enough to show it again. This is my current journal, and I'm almost done with it, honestly. I don't have too many free pages left. This is the free space left in the journal. This is the space that I've already used. This page in my journal is completely magazine cutouts, and it's just some stuff. This is an article about Sierra Gates, and it just really inspired me. Pressure makes diamonds, but this was her talking about how she went from being a teen mom, you know, financially unstable and things like that, to the mogul that she is now, the businesswoman that she is now. And here are some things that just encourage and inspire me. Beautiful models. If you don't know, I have modeled professionally in my life. I've had that honor. Muse. My brand, this channel, is Life of the Muse. Visually stimulate yourself. If you have visual stimulation, something attractive in your journal, it's literally, what does the word attractive mean? What is attraction? It will attract you to it. These are my favorite type of rose. These are my favorite type of rose. That is in my journal, a picture of my favorite rose bouquet. One thing about me, I'm always trying to manifest more money, more money, more money. Not even for myself. Like, I have a certain lifestyle that I desire to be living, but within that lifestyle, I'm a philanthropist. My end goal is to become a philanthropist. If I have endless money, why wouldn't I give back to the community that looks like me, the community that's been through what I've been through, the community next to the people? Like, I really want to bring in a certain income so that not only am I living a very comfortable, affordable luxury lifestyle, but I'm also giving back to people who have not made it that far yet. I'm always trying to manifest some money. So one of the things in my journal is even this. I got that out of a magazine, just like a hand grabbing a stack of money. Like, visually stimulate yourself. Visually stimulate yourself. A lot of my immediate family has transitioned into the spiritual realm. And that's been something that's super duper hard for me to deal with. You know, that's something anybody would struggle through. So, but I even have a little picture of my family when I was a little girl. This is me. This is my big sister, my granddaddy, my grandma, and my mom. Those three people have transitioned at this time. My uncle and his ex, and then my Aunt Tawny. But just like, we were at my Aunt Dot's house for a Thanksgiving dinner. I actually remember this evening taking place. I don't remember everything about it, but I remember that evening taking place. And to be able to I have a safe spot in my journal to keep this page. There's another journal I have. This was like 3 journals ago. My mom, when I was in college, she sent me a card, like a I'm thinking about you Hallmark card. I have the card and the envelope that it came in that journal, and it has my mom's handwriting in it where she's telling me, like, I love you. And you know, I don't have my mom anymore, but my journals, I have a safe spot to put things like that. And the point is the visual stimulation. My mother has beautiful handwriting, a beautiful signature. Like, put things in your journal that are going to encourage you to come back to it. Put things in your journal that are going to encourage you to really use it and find safety and security in it. It's yours, you know. Are we on tip number 5? I think we're on tip number 5. Tip number 5, self-prompts. Find prompts for yourself. Find prompts for yourself. So sometimes I go in my journal and I will literally fast forward and I'll just write out, what did you eat today? How are you feeling right now? When is the last time you reached out to so-and-so? There's so many prompts. I own a book of prompts. I'm not going to get up and go get it because I don't feel like it. But I own a book of prompts. And I have some loved ones that are, you know, incarcerated or whatever. So sometimes when I write to my loved ones that are incarcerated, I will literally like go through that book of prompts and I'll ask them one of those prompts, like, what's a dream you had as a child that still kind of sticks with you? And I will ask that to them because it's mental stimulation. It's influence and encouragement of your imagination. There's so many things in a prompt. Like, it gets the gears turning. You know what I'm saying? It makes you think. So write prompts for yourself. Write out. Also, writing prompts for yourself combats the first thing. Like, what do I write about? That. Write about whatever your prompt is. You know, write self-prompts in your journal. It's helpful. Tip number 6, if I'm keeping count properly. Tip number 6 is going to be to make sure that you're making your journal work for you. And the way that you do that is by going back and reflecting. The same way I said that I will fast forward pages in my journal and write prompts or, you know, something like that. I also fast forward in my journal and I write Notes to myself. Okay, so for example, I do have to cover this page up because I was going through it. But if you look here, and it probably won't focus well enough, but this says reread 1020. And then next to it, it says I am more than I think I am. Reread 1020 and I am more than I think I am. So I wonder if 1020 is a page that I'm comfortable. All right, I just found the journal entry that I wrote to reread, so I'm gonna read it until I'm uncomfortable, or I will just read it and then edit all of this out this video. But 1020 that I was referring to and wanted to go back and reflect on says, I have an interview today with the plant shop. I'm excited and thankful. I feel like once I learned to ask for help and really look into my resources, everything started to fall into place. Maybe that's what I was being told the entire time. Maybe that's why I kept getting the Hanged Man. That's a tarot card, and it's pretty much like it pretty much represents like just being suspended, just be still, don't try to influence the situation, don't try to, change anything, don't try to make it happen for you, just be still and watch. So I did get the 10 of Swords, and then my boo ended up in the hospital. Long story short, the lesson. The Hangman really does want you to surrender and get comfortable with the thought of being in limbo, in transition. If I had found employment while all of this was going on, I probably would not have been able to keep it. Whew. So, 10/20, October 20th, my grandmother ended up transitioning, like I said earlier, November 15th. And so what I was referring to at that point, I was in between jobs. I'll be transparent and say that I was in between jobs. I was looking for another job. I finally got an interview with the plant shop, which clearly that would have, I was excited. And what I was saying in the rest of the entry was like, if I had gotten a job and started it 2 weeks prior to that entry or something like that, pretty much with my grandma's health deteriorating as rapidly as it did, I wouldn't have been able to keep a new job. I wouldn't have been in the headspace to maintain any employment. So of course, being in between jobs is not something anybody wants to experience, but while I was in between jobs, I experienced one of the hardest phases in my life, and it ended up being beneficial for me that I didn't have a job at that moment. Does that make sense? I would not have ever been able to make that conclusion if I did not document my life in real time. The fact that I have a journal helps me with my depression and anxiety, because when I reread entries like that, it lets me know things happen for a reason. It lets me know, even though things are not in my control and they're not happening how I think they should be happening, maybe they're happening how they should be happening. Maybe that's real. There's so many pages in my journal. If I had the time, I would share with you some of the things I've been able to reflect on and see is wild. So whenever you write an entry that you feel is really substantial, I encourage you to fast forward some pages in your journal and write a note for yourself to go back and reread that entry. It doesn't matter how far you fast forward. Just grab some pages, fast forward, because it ends up being right on time. Your journal allows you to see magic happen. It ends up being right on time. Being that I have this journal series on my channel, I do think that, I do know that I'll start to pour into this particular series a lot more. So one of the things that's crossed my mind is if I have some entries that are appropriate but testimonial to share them with you all. I don't know if I'll actually do that, but it is crossing my mind. That could be the comment that you leave down below. Let me know what you think about that idea, or would you ever do something like that? Do you have a journal? Do you write in your journal? Do you have friends that have journals? Leave a comment below. Y'all be coming up, pulling up on these videos, not liking, not comment. Don't do that no more. House rules. Don't break the house rules. But anyways, I do encourage each and every single one of you to get a journal, and not only to get a journal, to use it consistently. Use your journals on a consistent basis because it is beneficial for you. And trust me, there is several gaps in here. Like, I have moments where I get, you know, the D word, I try not to admit, you know, that, or, you know, I try to be careful with my words, but I have my moments where I'm like, I'm not writing a damn thing. I have entries in there that I will never revisit because I can't stomach them. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's my safe place to put those types of feelings. That's my safe place to put those types of emotions. It's okay that I can't stomach them anymore. I got them out. Get a journal. Write in your journal. Try to be consistent with your journal. And use the tips that I just gave you to help you with your journaling experience. Until next Tuesday, love you.